So we got a Pokemon Presents that actually didn't disappoint, and it caught me off guard. So I'm gonna kind of go quickly through the first few things that they announced. They went through the typical mobile roundup, which I was right about. They announced, very minor stuff for Pokemon Masters EX, Pokemon Go, I almost said Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Cafe Remix, and Pokemon Unite. I might be missing one more, but honestly, that's not what we're here to talk about. There were two pretty big announcements, one much more bigger than the other, but each very interesting nonetheless. So first thing they announced after the mobile games was a new mobile game. However, this one was really interesting. They're essentially going to be releasing a Pokemon TCG mobile app where you're able to open up packs like virtual cards and collect all the cards just virtually on your phone, which is really cool and appealing for someone like me who was always interested in the Pokemon cards, and at one point I did try to collect some of them, but it just didn't capture that interest for me. And I don't know, kind of having that collection virtually makes it a little bit more appealing for me personally, just because I don't have to deal with storing it and making sure that the quality of the cards is on point and worrying about like tangible things like that. Whereas here it's just it's virtual. I can just pull it up on my phone and look over my collection and even trade with my friends who aren't around. There's also a battling aspect which will really help me learn the card game itself, since I never really had the opportunity to learn or play the actual Pokemon TCG game. So it was really neat. It reminded me a lot of the way they kind of portray the cards and how they do it in Marvel Snap, where if you get a really rare card, you can kind of move your phone around with the gyro sensor, and it kind of moves it around in like a 3D space. It's really neat. I'm really excited for that. It's supposed to be coming out sometime later this year. Then they went ahead and started talking about their last big thing. This is going to be our last announcement for the day. Please take a look. And at this point, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't think it was going to be a remake of any sort. I definitely did not think it was going to be Gen 10. I was on the fence about it being some sort of Let's Go game, so like Let's Go Johto. And they kept teasing Johto throughout the entire presentation too. Like they had Pikachu walk out with a bunch of unknown. They had clips of, Gen 2, from a lot of the mobile game updates. They like included Silver from Gold and Silver. They included Raikou for Pokemon Sleep. Oh yeah, that was the last mobile app that I forgot to mention. So there's a lot of Gen 2 teasing, but then we got to this last announcement, and the way it starts off is it looks like somebody's kind of sketching out blueprints to some kind of building or some kind of cityscape, and then you start getting sketches of Pokemon and people, and then it goes to this very futuristic type look, almost like Tron. And from there it's kind of like guiding you through this city, and I'm still not really sure what is going on. And then I start noticing there's a lot of Gen 6 Pokemon around. I'm like, okay, it's weird. And then you see the Lumio City structure in the back, the Eiffel Tower. And I'm like, okay, so this is located in Gen 6, and I'm still not really totally sure what it is. I felt like it was maybe even a Detective Pikachu game, which I got a little anxious about. But then once they kind of go through all that and they pull out of that little scene, it says the Lumio City Urban Redevelopment Plan. So you're going to be rebuilding the city, and I thought, okay, it's some kind of, I don't even know, like Minecraft kind of version of Pokemon where you like building things. And then it goes to the title card, and it's Pokemon Legends ZA. And I really was not expecting another Pokemon Legends game. I mean, I'm super happy about it. I love Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun too. And I really, this made me pop off because I was super excited to see Pokemon Legends come back. And then just to add on top of that, they're bringing back Megas, which at first I was like, oh my god, why are they bringing back Megas? This is amazing. But then it makes perfect sense because Megas were introduced in Gen 6. So they essentially skipped Gen 5 altogether. There's no remakes, there's no Legends version of Gen 5, which, I mean, fine, sure, but I also don't want them to remake Gen 5 in the same style that they did Gen 4 remakes. So we're gonna be getting Gen 6. Gen 5 might come down the line. Pokemon Company is gonna do whatever they want to do. It seems, there are no rules. It's kind of just like with Smash Brothers when people are trying to decide what character can get in. There are no rules. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. The only bit of information that I found out after this presentation that kind of pulled me back down to earth in a way was that the entire game is going to take place within Lumio City. So it's not really you exploring the entire region of Kalos. It's just going to be within Lumio City. And I know Lumio City was kind of big in the original game, at least compared to other cities. And they could definitely flesh it out. It could definitely be a huge map to explore in this game. But it just feels, I don't know. It's always going to be in the back of my head that, wow, this map is really big, the city is really big, but there's a region outside this city that's even bigger that we could have explored, but we're not given the chance to. And the fact that it is like an urban setting versus Pokemon Legends Arceus where you're running around the wilderness, I'm not sure how that's going to work with kind of catching Pokemon and things like that, but we'll see. That game's coming out in 2025. They didn't give a time frame in 2025, so this could very well be the holiday 2025 title, which would be really interesting. Pokemon, for once, isn't rushing their games out the door. And that would mean Gen 10 isn't coming out until 2026. If this means that there's more polish to the game and this gives the developers more time to actually make the game run without any hiccups or issues, then I'm all for it. And that was it. That was the Pokemon Presents for 2024 on Pokemon Day. And again, I think it was a lot better than I expected, but at the same time, I didn't expect much, so the bar was kind of low. Either way, I'm excited for the few things that they announced. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments down below what you felt about the Pokemon Presents and whether or not you're excited about any of the announcements, whether it were the mobile games or the new TCG app or even Pokemon Legends. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.